Hey there, gorgeous. Hope your day is going really well. It's finally time for me to talk about Darktide. I've been waiting for a while. I've been looking forward to this game since its announcement around 2 years ago, and here we finally are, just a little less than 2 weeks from its official release. On the 17th of this month of November, Darktide's pre-order beta dropped, just a little while after its closed beta had concluded, and I must say, I have a lot of good things to say about this glorious game. Now, while the version I am presently playing is not a complete version of the game, it is still a version of the game that is reminiscent of what we can expect on the day of release, and that fact does concern me. While the 4 mission types over 4 maps is a pitiful semblance of the variety I hope will be in the official release, the game loop feels like a perfected version of Vermintide, although there are some serious issues I want to mention before we really delve into this review. I was unable, and I am still unable, on the day of this recording, which is the 21st of November, able to play the game on my native Wi-Fi network. I had to go pay for a VPN to play the video game I already paid $60 for. This is unacceptable. This needs to be fixed before launch day. It has to be. There is no exception here. The fact that there is an error that disallows you from playing the game without spending money on another service is ridiculous. I know it's not intentional on Fatshark's end, at least I hope it's not. And this is without mentioning the many crashes people have been experiencing, but I've been lucky enough to mostly avoid those. I also want to mention that I use a pretty mid to low tier laptop to play my video games, and this game was not the biggest fan of that fact. Problems like massive FPS drops, having 10 FPS and needing to restart the game for that to go away, things of that nature plagued my experience. Get it? Plagued. Nurgles, they're like the villains, and okay, we're moving on. I did some poking around, and it seems like most people are having these issues. And even with a killer rig, it seems some people's frame rates are sitting at 60 FPS at their height. I myself sit more around 20 to 40 FPS, and that's with all the settings on low and all those extra fancy settings set to off. It's a shame too, because truly this game looks gorgeous when I see high quality footage of it. Altogether, I just want to warn you of how rough this game runs at times, and to be aware that it will not run smooth if you have a mid to low range PC like most people. At least currently during this early beta, that's true. But since we are about a week or so from launch, I think it's worth mentioning now. Alright, for the rest of this review, I will be talking about gameplay and art design, so stick with me here. Gameplay wise, as I mentioned before, this is that Vermintide formula perfected with a capital motherfucking P. It feels really good. The sound effects managed to help emphasize your slashes and bashes incredibly, and I was truly surprised by the amount of weapons we had to choose from. While there are plenty of weapons that are the same with just higher rarities and better stats, I never really found it bothering me. While this is no Borderlands, the range of weapons feel different enough from each other that you can completely radicalize your gameplay by just swapping your gun loadout. And if Fatshark plans to update this game more than Vermintide was, I imagine these won't be our only selections forever. You also have 4 classes at launch to choose from. There's the basic sharpshooter class, the big O slabo beef boy, the psyker, and the preacher. I mostly played the sharpshooter like the basic bitch I am, but I also found myself adoring the big O slabo beef I so gloriously named Sir Lix-a-Lot. Drink him in. Isn't he so pretty? Tell him he's pretty right now, motherfucker. I do have to say that I did enjoy the other 2 as well, but they just weren't really my playstyle. But I'll probably try to dive into them at some other point. But for now, I'm happy being a basic bitch with a side of beefcake. So, the gameplay's like this. You select your operative, you load into the Morningstar ship that acts as your hub, where you can purchase new weapons and, when the game releases, some cosmetics from the store. And then when you are ready, you select from a group of missions that are presently available to you that Fatshark chooses, and they will switch out in different intervals from each other. Some missions will be more difficult, some will have special effects like there being more hordes than normal, or the lights are all turned off. This can add lots of replayability ability, but I'm not sure if it's just the limited selection that is available during the pre-order beta, because this is only 1/3 of the entire game, but it felt incredibly dull after some time when I was playing by myself. Just kind of felt like I was going through the motions, and my own life feels like that enough already, thank you very much. But when I was playing with friends, it rejuvenated the whole formula, but I imagine that isn't a shock to you. The selection of missions were assassination missions, ammo restock missions, all kinds of things you'd expect to be doing as servants of the Emperor. Now, in terms of art design, each of these levels also look phenomenal. Everything absolutely screams its setting to perfection. The attention to detail gives Tertium such a gloriously lived-in feeling. I found myself in love with this hive city. I would pause from murdering hordes just to look at the absolutely gorgeous skyboxes and sights off in the distance. You will be mucking your way through tight corridors and wading through gunky sewers until you pass through a door into a more open section of the city, just to be reminded of how insignificant you really are, how tiny and minuscule you happen to be, and that's an impressive feeling to be able to give. Everything about this game drips with an ambiance that is so infectious you will find yourself missing the game even with its oppressive nature. So yeah, this game has some serious bugginess. And yes, it does have some stability and optimization issues. And truly, if on launch all of these issues are still present, that will be completely unacceptable. I would not buy into the pre-order beta. You should wait until the full release. I wouldn't want this beta to sour your opinion of a game that you could love. Even though that despite all of the technical issues, this game does what it is set out to do. Every issue that pre-order beta has may not be good, and there are some serious issues that must be addressed, but they are almost certainly temporary. In terms of just gameplay, this is everything we wanted it to be, and with the variety that the final release will bring, I have high hopes that this will be a top tier experience. So let's just hope it can stick the landing. Thank you so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do blast a bolter-sized hole into that like button. And if you really loved it and would like to see more, subscribe like you mean it, sexy. But more importantly, have a good ass day and don't die, bitch. Watching my video today, oh my god, they were so attractive. Yeah, oh my god, they're right there. How long were you standing there? Did you hear all of that? Oh my god, it's so awkward.